Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you all.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. This is our first goal setting live for 2024. We had a great 2023, and I'm so ready to do this.
Oh, notification just went out.
Awesome. Real quick, I'm going to say hi to the folks that we have in the chat. We've got Tina, Life in the Piedmont Homestead. Thank you for coming in, Tina. I saw that you're going to have to pop out, but thank you for being here. A Homesteading Hustle. Good to see you all. Broke Cowgirl Homestead. Hello. Good to see you.
Hello, hello. Hi, guess you, Nancy.
Hey, Suburban Hillbilly. Good to see
Suburban.
you. And guess you, Nancy. Hello.
Hello, hello.
This is going to be a fun year. I'm excited to talk about this.
I've already started.
You have.
I have. We've been, I'll wait a few minutes and then we'll get into it.
Okay. Yeah. I love what all we were able to do last year and how a couple of key things for me were the meat birds. That was our first last year. The making sourdough and then some. I feel like I want to make sourdough everything. Hey, Aidenir. Good to see you. And the making cold process soap after I'd thought about it for the last decade. That was pretty awesome.
Awesome. She's going
Suburban Hillbilly. Awesome. I know it's getting that time when we can think about growing stuff. Yeah, and I have so much I want to do again this year. I'm just trying to organize all of my thoughts, make sure that I keep it balanced. And thank you to everybody who's praying for our friend who's in the hospital. That I'm not going to talk about it too much because it'll get me upset. Come on our Happy New Year's, goal planning live, crying my eyes out because I would totally do that. But it really, it hit home that as we are talking about all of the things that we want to do this year, keeping it balanced is important, and making sure that people we love and care about are up there at the top of the list.
Thanks, Suburban Hillbilly. You're a blessing. Hey, Sarah.
Thank you so much. Good to see you, Sarah. Yeah, doing that. And I feel like it's easy to think about, to get so task oriented, right? To-dos, all your to-dos. I remember the first year that we did this, Lisa, when I was making out all of my goals and everything, and Mountain Grandpa came and hovered over my shoulder and looked at it and said, "You got me in there anywhere?"
I remember. That's
he knows how I do. Yeah. I get very task oriented. So got to make sure you're people oriented also, because your people are your people, like
that's right.
People are. It can extend beyond family, blood family for sure. And friends become like family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's funny. I remember last year telling you, right? Because this will be our third year.
Our third year. Is that awesome?
So I remember telling you the first year I had all those goals and I got them all. And then the second
year, lots of infrastructure. Your first year.
The second year, I was like, we're not.
And we moved.
Yeah. And I said, we're not setting goals for the farm. And we didn't, but we got so much accomplished.
Yeah.
Just by, showing an interest in things.
Yeah. Yeah. And having that headspace. I feel like, sometimes you can have things you want to do and you're not quite sure on the path to get there, but you want to do them. And sometimes we have those things that present themselves as opportunities, right? Like if you've been gifted with something or had a great find on something that gives you resources, whereas otherwise maybe you couldn't afford to do it or wouldn't want to invest the money in that, but then you get the resources. You're like, okay, yeah, this one's we're doing this. Absolutely.
Hey, Heather.
Hey, Heather. Good to see you.
So
So,
why don't you explain a little bit about why you started this brainchild, right? Because you started this and brought me along, and I'm really grateful for it. But why don't
I'm
you
so
explain?
grateful for you.
Why don't you explain a little bit about the model? Because
Right.
I think we haven't done that in a while, and it's probably a good reminder.
Yeah. So, historically, I have done the 7 F's of goal setting for many, many years. And I started doing it at work, at a place that I worked. It was introduced to me. And you'll see the 7 F's listed here at the bottom of the screen. They represent faith, family, friends, finance, fitness, fun, future. And it's just when you're thinking of all the things you want to do, it's good to keep tabs on these different important areas of your life to make sure that you're touching in on these things throughout the year. Maybe, once a month, if you want to consider these things, your once a month check in. How is it going? How are you doing in these areas of your life? And you can take your goals and kind of fit them in to one of these areas at the same time. I like to write mine out. I'm somebody who likes written word, right? Like,
Yeah.
I like the path. I like to draw it out there because honestly, for me, the way that I think and process, my brain gets pretty darn busy. Hey, Kenzie.
Hey,
Good to
Kenzie.
see you. My brain gets pretty darn busy. And if I can, there's so many different, I always have like so many goals. And I write down each of these words and then I'll write down a separate list of what do I want to do? What is something I've really been thinking about doing? Like, think this through. You probably have supplies for some of the stuff that you've been thinking about doing. I think everybody does this. Oh, I'm going to get this because I'm going to do that someday. Or you study things on the side because you really want to do that.
Right.
Like with the soap, apparently it was a whole bunch of us in this and that were in the chat who had been wanting to make cold process soap, and we had the supplies. We were just kind of waiting to do that. But write down a list of the things that you want to do, what comes to mind, and kind of mull it over. I am not a resolution person. I'm not a happy New Year's. This is my resolutions for the year. No, I'm a planning kind of person. So I have a New Year's, and there's lots of ways of planning things. If you want to scatter plot things, like, and making a list of random brainstorming everything that you want to do, that's a method of goal setting right there, just by getting it out of your head and onto a piece of paper. And for some people that prefer to not keep a piece of paper, just give it some thought every now and then, think about the things that you want to do. And so I hope that provides a little bit of background. Yep, Lantern Creek, a lot of unfinished but started project. Yeah, and it's really just kind of focusing. And then for me also, it's trying to make use of the some of the time, some of my sitting time, and I don't mean sitting as in I'm sitting down. I mean sitting time as in these open blocks of time when you really could do something and you could be more productive than what you're being. It's really a way of, in the end, big picture, of making sure that you're the one that's living your life rather than your life living you, if that makes sense. You don't want to go through life and feel like, well, you're doing everything spontaneously and more less proactively in preparation and getting things done, and more kind of flying by whatever kicks you in the seat of your pants kind of thing. And then at the end of the year, you can sit back or even as you go through the year, you can sit back and feel like you accomplished some things. Yes. And so I'm glad that you shared that, Lisa, because when I did this on the work side, I had a partner who was like an accountability partner. They're like my friend who knows me, somebody that I think could probably balance out, how I look at things with maybe a different perspective. Somebody who can be encouraging, kind of that is strong enough to reel you back in. And Lisa's like the perfect person. She's the perfect person for me. And I knew she was, when we started doing these lives. I had reached out to her and said, hey, would you be interested in being my partner? Because I thought she would be great for me. And she absolutely is. Absolutely is. And she reels me back in. If she sees me, I don't know, sometimes maybe getting too grandiose, she'll be like, okay, hold on. Because you want to have your big goals, but you got to have those little steps. And another thing that Lisa does for me is, she will also, if I start to be too hard on myself, because, I do that. I'll beat myself up over something. She'll be like, no, don't, you can't be like you. She reels me back in. I can't do Lisa as to what she tells me that makes it work. I just know that in my headspace, she does that for me and brings me back on track.
I just tell you to cut it out.
Oh, is that what you do? Well, it
I
works.
just say cut it out. You're negating all the progress that you've made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing, like, we have been, and that's what I was waiting to tell you. We have been decluttering here.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh,
and
that needs to be on my list.
Well, and here's the thing. I don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I procrastinate. I don't want to do it. And Ryan needed something to do the other day. And he's like, I'm not sitting around. We need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So reluctantly, I get up and I go help. And you know what? Between the two of you working together, it gets done quicker.
It does.
And we got 2 pickup loads that went to the trash. We organized a lot
Holy
of
cow,
stuff.
you guys did declutter.
Well, we organized a lot of stuff. And what happens is when it's busy, it's drop and go, right?
Yes.
So it's okay. We drop this on the toolbox. We drop this on the toolbox. We drop this in the room. I'm a stuffer. Ryan likes to call me a crammer. Somebody comes
My husband
over.
calls me a stacker.
I clean it up and I hide it. And then it's like we've got this huge mess. So anyway, we went through all this stuff and got rid of things. In fact, I'm sitting in here now. You guys can't see the background because I have it blurred. But I ordered shelves for my craft room because I got it cleaned out. It was pretty sad.
Awesome.
Hold on. Let me see if I can.
Funny you say that because I'm sitting in my craft room and it's blurred out also.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna see. I think I deleted it, but let me look and see if I can find it because I mean it was bad. And then it just becomes you can't clean it. It's dusty, it's filthy. And it's just depressing and just don't want to do it. And then you're like, oh, well, you got to do it.
Yeah. I need to do that too.
Okay. Embarrassing.
Oh my gosh. Go Lisa.
Well, no, that was the before.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I know that you cleaned up. That's awesome that you
I'm looking for the newest pictures. Thought I deleted it. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, you've got to have a partner.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
So, and I even was able to put some insulated curtains up because this is the room on the opposite end of our pellet stove. And
that's really hard. I just want to.
It is hard, but you know what? We're happy to help.
Yep.
And I mean, so that's
Lisa and I can be your accountability partners, guys.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like we got this done, and now I have one more closet to do, which is my master bedroom closet, and mine is a nightmare. I'm not even showing you the mess. It's bad.
I should do a before picture with my craft room.
Thanks, Rebecca. Thank you. Well, here's the thing. So now we ordered shelves because I've been working on my projects because I want to do some craft shows and stuff like that. And now I'll have shelving to organize it all. I can find everything.
Yeah.
I went through and looked at my, work in progress. You know how you have 50 of them when you crochet?
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
looked at them and said, okay, if you're not going to finish this, undo it. And I rolled up the yarn, or I put them in there to finish, and they're right on top of the yarn. And so it was really good. And I mean, it just feels good to have it done, but I admit I don't want to do it.
You know, I think that you bringing up that brings up another good little piece of information too. Clutter can prevent you from moving forward. It can definitely impede your creativity and your motivation. And I have the same thing. I've been working on, at least I know you've seen, because I've showed you like pictures of what I got going on. But we've been cleaning out some stuff, but I have a ways to go yet. And we've got to get rid of some things. We just have too much.
Yeah. So I put a post up last night on our
Did
community.
You see what Heather said?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I put up a poll on our community page. So if you haven't voted, go over and vote. But so far, 78% want to see it and 22 don't. So
okay, I'm gonna go over there and vote real quick.
But yeah, do that, because I think it's important, and that can be stuff that we talk about on our lives, is actually the decluttering and stuff. But I think as homesteaders, I mean, even if you're not a homesteader, I know there's clutter, but if you are, you're in that mindset of keeping everything. And you also, because you're going to need it one day, right?
Yeah.
But the other part of it is you sit there and you're like, oh, I don't have time for that because I'm outside doing stuff and whatever. Well, the slower season is the time to get that stuff done.
Yeah.
So you can function, because I can tell you right now, I can breathe in this room. I couldn't breathe before. I wouldn't even come in here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm doing it, Lisa. You've motivated me to do it.
Hey, kill it and grill it.
You guys, can you see me looking around here?
And here's the thing.
Ask so many hobbies.
Ask Mountain Grandpa to come sit in there with you. And keep you company.
Yeah.
Because really,
that's a good idea.
Ryan, we did a lot, and I said to him, can you just come in here and sit with me for a bit? Because when you're in here, I'm more motivated to do it.
Yeah.
And so only a couple of silly little things, I would turn around and say, hey, can you put this book in the tote, because I couldn't reach it. And it made things go faster.
That's a good idea.
And then, he helped me out further by cleaning the kitchen and cooking dinner so I could keep going. Because I'm one of those don't get started till 1 o'clock kind of people. And then I'm on fire.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a good idea. I'm going to do that. I have been making some small strides, but I still have a ways to go. I'll have to do a before picture and share with you guys. This has got like boxes and bags in here from moving. So they're like the things that didn't get put away that I really need to see if do we need to donate these or just throw things away? You know what I mean?
The other thing that we do is like, we'll put stuff we're not sure of. We've decided to keep, say this go around, you can put it in a tote. And the next time you go through it, then you're like, no, this has got to go.
I like that idea. Yeah. Because I have some of those. We moved using some totes. So I actually have an empty one in here. An empty tote is one of the things that's in this room that I've been thinking, wonder what I could use this for.
Yeah. I'm going to change my lighting while you're talking.
Okay. No problem. So Kenzie added too much to your plate over the last year. So my house has been let go over the last year. Yeah, I hear you. That's like a balance thing. And just the trying to split our time between so many different things, right? And I think I added decluttering to my list because that's exactly what I have going on over here is clutter. I'm a book person too, and I've got books I need to get rid of. I'm interested. And hey, Kill It and Grill It, thanks for joining us. I've thought about doing a live and maybe giving away some of my books, and some of them are like Christian books, or they are like herbal nutritionist kind of books. Do you guys think that would be of interest if I did like a live giveaway and gave some of those away versus just, I mean, I could donate them too, but.
Well, while you're waiting for folks to answer,
Mm-hmm.
you're really going to be proud of me.
What'd you
I
do?
amassed a small book hoard for work
Oh, that's
related stuff,
awesome. Uh-huh.
and I'm getting rid of all of them.
Are you?
And one of the things that I plan to do, because that's like hard to sell at a yard sale, hard
Mm-hmm.
to donate
Yeah.
because, they've got
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. And so one of the things that I am doing is trying to sell them, where you download an app and you
Uh-huh.
scan it and you sell it. I did it when we left North Carolina
Huh.
and it really worked well. But
Mm-hmm.
I did take a handful of really good
Mm-hmm.
ones that I'm giving to a
Mm-hmm.
former coworker
Mm-hmm.
and who's new in the
Oh,
field.
you've
And
got leadership ones too. I have leadership ones too.
I do, I
I
do.
do
But I mean,
too,
I
Lisa.
literally I love books. And so
Mm-hmm.
I've done really well at getting rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I won't open these anymore. They were more reference books.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to sell them. And then we have a whole bunch of other stuff I was going to donate. We're going to try and sell it at a yard sale, like
Mm-hmm.
other
That's
than
a good
books,
idea.
because we really it would help us.
Yeah.
And obviously whatever doesn't sell, we will donate.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we're in a rural area, so that helps people out too to sell it
Mm-hmm.
cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Heather said yes.
Okay. Awesome.
I did
I
that
might.
last year with
Mm-hmm.
we went through and cleaned Christmas ornaments and scaled them
Uh-huh.
down.
Mm-hmm.
And last year I was like, hey, I was on a live and I said, hey guys, I've got all these old Christmas ornaments, but they're in the
Uh-huh.
box. And
Mm-hmm.
I gave them away like a giveaway and people love
Yeah.
them.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's why I think your book idea would be really cool.
Yeah. I'll do that. Maybe I'll do it as part of, I've got to figure out when I'm going to schedule our 1K celebration, because our channel made it to 1,000 subscribers.
Yes. So now
And
what she needs is for people to watch her videos.
yeah, then I need, and yep, I do. And I need to just keep trying to, put new content up there. So thank you, Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
And so maybe I will hold them, and then as long as people don't mind books with like, maybe underlining in it, because I might underline some things, but the truth is a lot of books I get them secondhand,
Yep.
so someone else has underlined them, and I don't mind that myself. But
I don't
I'll
know
share
either.
that during the live, maybe.
Heather said last year her mom moved to a nursing home and she's talking about that she's got to clean stuff out. Let me tell you, this room had a lot of my mother's stuff in it, and my mom died in 2021.
Hey,
What's
Charles.
up, Charles? What's up?
You do that good, Lisa. I'm not gonna try.
We were talking about you, Gwen. That's what you missed. What was that?
I want to though. I'm gonna try it when I get off this live.
What's that?
Hey,
I can
Gwen.
do it even louder, but I think Ryan's on the phone. So
He'll be on a work call. Hear you in the background. Oh, that's awesome, Jamie.
That's great. That's great.
So, just to revert back to the goal discussion. So, 3 tasks. This is how we do it. So, write down, you see them listed here, the 7 F's: faith, family, friends, finance, fitness, fun, future. And then in a separate list, write down all the things that you want to do this year. And you might have to even think about things that maybe you forgot. Like I wrote down that I want to make bagels. And of course they're going to be sourdough bagels because that's how I do everything now. But I want to make bagels, and I know I don't know where I want to put this, but there's other things that I want. I want to learn how to make pretzels and biscotti. Those are a couple more things that I have on my list. What is it?
Okay. The Vineyard Chicks.
They gave me biscotti too. That's why I want to make.
Go to their channel. They did videos on it because that's
Did they?
let me tell you, that was the best biscotti I ever
so
had.
good. It was so good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I need to learn how to make this.
I do too, Suburban Hillbilly. I totally get that.
What is this? 1K can donate. Aw, that would be awesome. I will keep you all posted.
Heather. Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I think so, Heather. We've been doing this. We're entering our 3rd year.
Oh, that's too funny.
It's fudge. That's what she means.
It's fudge. Or flippin'.
Flippin'. Oh my gosh, you want to talk about using the fudge word?
Uh-huh.
I got to share this. So I go down to feed the pigs the other day, mainly Grant, right? I go down there and he busted the feeder off the fence. So in the snow, in the ice and the snow, the feeder's all the way down the hill in the pasture. Well, I don't feel comfortable going down to get it because I'm gonna fall and they're all up in my business and knock me over.
Yeah.
So I'm a little more leery after that whole incident where I got stitches. So anyway, long story short,
oh my goodness.
I go to tie. We have rubber bowls, so so I could feed him. I get a rubber bowl and it's got a rope on it. So I was like, good, I'll tie it to the fence to get me through until we fix it the next day, Yeah. Well, I sit there and I turn around and I told him to back up, and he does. He listens to me because I've gotten him to listen to a few things. So he backs up. I bend down to tie it on the cattle panel. He jumps up on it and slams it into my head.
Oh no.
I used some really bad words.
I'll bet you did.
Besides fudge.
Yeah.
And I went, Grant. And he's like, I could feel his breath on me. And I'm like, so thankfully, I thought I would have yellow bruises look awful.
Yeah.
So thankfully, I don't have a big yellow grid on my head.
Oh my goodness. No.
Oh, it hurt so bad.
I'll bet it did. And the ice and the snow complicate everything too.
Yeah. So the next day, Ryan went down and got the thing out of the pasture and put it back up because we use wire cables that have like the plastic coating, and he uses wire nuts on them, and it's like they hold up for a while, but not Grant.
Oh man. That's on my list this year, is to try to get some infrastructure in for some more animals.
Whoop whoop.
We'll see. Let's see how that's obviously going to require Mountain Grandpa.
Yeah. So needless to say, my neighbors heard all of my colorful words, but Ryan did not.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, and I love Grant. He's such a good boy, but man, he loves you to death. He's like a woolly mammoth.
Yeah, bless his heart. He will love you to death.
He will.
Literally.
He will.
Oh my goodness.
Fruitcake, yeah. Fruitcake, yep. And Donnie's paintings are beautiful. I have one.
They are. Thank you all so much. That's awesome. I'll keep you posted. I'm gonna write that down too, so
freaking yeah. I really do appreciate it, but it's so funny in the heat of the moment. The worst one comes out for me. There's no alternatives. I'm just being real.
Yeah.
Fudgesicles.
I'm writing.
Freaking frack. Yeah, mine were not nice at all.
Freaking frack. So Joy, the 1K live that I'm going to do, it's probably going to, because of, our our friend who's like a sister, being in ICU and everything going on with that, it's probably going to be a couple of weeks. So
no rush.
yeah.
No rush.
Um,
You need to deal with that.
yeah. Yeah.
Shut the front door. Yeah. I wish I could think of that.
It's a lot of syllables. Those little one syllable words just, just are so easier to.
Yeah. There was some really choice words followed by Grant. Yeah,
I'm just glad you didn't like really hurt yourself badly, because that can happen.
yeah, well, we have to do our fencing, and so the fencing is
Mhm.
a little waggly, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
So when he
Yeah.
jumped on it, it's waggling, and then it's snowy outside, so it's like you can't sit down, but you're sitting there like
Mhm.
this going,
Yeah.
but
Dang it.
you guys are funny, buzzard
You see,
butt,
Jane.
flabbergasted. You guys are hilarious. I love it. So talk about 7Fs for this year.
Okay.
What do you have going on?
So I'm still getting my list together, and there's one thing that, and like I was mentioning earlier, like just make sure that that your people, that spending time with family and friends, your family, that you have that on your list, because just spending time with them and making sure that you've shared the love with them, like the small things we can do to share love, whether it's a text or a phone call, or spending physical time together, or mailing them something, or I don't know, whatever. For everybody it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would keep going in that, but I don't want to, get myself too upset over here, because I'm a hot mess when I get upset. But
Well,
so I did that. Yeah.
no, go ahead.
And then the other thing that I thought about was maybe even making a little note about what did I not do last year that I wanted to, and maybe I just didn't get around to it.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, like I feel like that deserves a place. And you know what? Fair enough. If something didn't get done, that's because it didn't make it up the priority list. I mean, it didn't make it up the priority list because other things were a bigger priority. And that just is what it is. Um, so I've got that going on my list too. And then there's still things I'm mulling over, and I'm kind of thinking, what quarter and then I start jumping ahead of myself, even thinking, gosh, what quarter am I going to do this? And then I got to stop myself and just make a list of the things that I want to do. And some of it's, what do I want to cook or cook better? What do I want to grow or grow better? What do I want to raise or raise better? What homesteading skills do I want to develop? Whether I have zero skills at it so far, or maybe it's something I do, but I don't feel like I've really gotten it under control in a way that I feel like I've mastered it or even come close. Composting, for example. I got a compost pile out there. We'll see how it goes. So that's like a learning thing in progress. Canning. I've done water bath canning. I've purchased a pressure cooker and have not used it yet. So that's on my list as far as that goes. And then for the fitness thing, I've been that's always a work in progress, and of course I have to make huge changes for my health this year, and the little fitness F, that F in fitness has to be moved up the list, because included in that is how we eat, how we exercise, what do we do for ourselves, and you know in true fashion of how I do everything, of course, I've been nerding out on this. So I'm like listening to these podcasts, and there is I don't know if you want to call it, what would this be called? Like a webinar series on fasting right now that I've been listening to. So I'm definitely going to be doing some fasting, and I'm going to try. I don't know that I doubt I'm going to go gluten-free. I'm not going to use that word, but I do like the idea of using alternative flours where I can,
Yeah.
and kind of supplementing them in there. And I've cut out sugars a lot prior to the holidays, and I need to get back on the cutting out sugar bandwagon. But I do use alternative sweeteners. So you guys might see some of this as I try to, cook better and healthier and still have food be yummy, because I like yummy food.
Well,
Hey,
sure.
Nanny Tam.
Hey, Nanny Tam.
So all over the place. Those are, and being in the word every day for faith. I want to make sure that legit my eyes are connecting with the pages of a real solid book Bible. And I feel differently when I do that versus using my Bible app or listening and, to people read scripture on YouTube, because I do that sometimes too. But I like the idea. Hey there, Grape Jams.
Hey, Grape Jams.
I like the idea, and I really want to make sure I am letting the Bible speak to me. And I feel like, and I don't know, everybody has their own opinion, but I really want my eyes, my eyeballs connecting with the word of the Bible. So in there, every day, at least once. I mean, my thought is when I get up in the morning, I should, seek God first and then go on my way. And then, at the end of the day, it helps me go to sleep. So it brings me peace at the end of the day. And that's the one thing I always do at the end of the day is I listen to my Bible app. When I'm going to sleep, I put my Bible app on. And then we usually listen to somebody preaching at the end of the day. It just really helps us unwind, my husband and I both. But I still it's the eyeballs reading the written word, not digital. And I don't know, a lot of people would say it doesn't make a difference, but I don't know. I feel like it does make a difference. And I got to tell you, the other day I did this, and I'm on the book of Luke, and my husband and I were just talking about, I'm like, oh my gosh, I had listened to somebody and I'm like, we're screwed. Like, we are serious. We're screwed. This dude died, and he said that he wasn't making it to heaven, and he was a preacher. We're in really big trouble, buddy. And he had fostered kids, and he was a police officer. He was like a really good person. And he basically died, and he said that God told him, yep, basically you didn't cut the mustard. This is Tammy's words. This isn't you didn't do it for me, you did it for yourself. And then I told my husband, oh my gosh, like, I think they're doing this. I do a lot for myself. Like, even if it's to make me feel good, I'm doing something nice for someone else, and then I feel good about it. Oh, screwed up that one. I told him we are like screwed. So what do we do? And I mean, if you're gonna be, it says pray in all things and seek God first, all of this. You go through a whole day. I mean, I can focus. I can focus like nobody's business. I can hyper focus, and really see the one thing in front of me, and not, especially with work, like when I get on that mindset. And I told my husband, my gosh, I can go through all day long. And then when I'm done working, I'm on to whatever I want to make sure I do before the end of the day, plus fixing something for dinner, chores and whatnot. I'm like, we're screwed. We're just screwed. How are we going to do this? Like, how are we going to do? I don't want to go to HE double toothpicks. I do not want to go to that place. I don't even want to say the word to give it power. I just don't want to be, they will not like me. I am not bad enough.
Oh my
I won't like them, and they won't like me. It's going to be a bad scene. And so, I just, and to be that, it's the eternal separation from God, right? Like that you're eternally separated, and what a heartbreaking thought, right? So I tell my husband all this, and I'm like, well, what are we supposed to do? Like, we can't be preachers for a living. I'm not going to make a good preacher. Like, that's not my calling. I'm pretty sure you got to be called for this. We can't all do that, right?
Hey, Vineyard
So to reel it back in, hey, Vineyard Chicks. So then I'm reading the Bible, and it was in Luke 3, and John was baptizing people, And the people there, they had the same revelation I did of like, oh my gosh, we're screwed. What do we do? And so it was the tax collectors said, what do we do? So what shall we teach her? What do we do? Like the same question I had. So when I go back to, and then the soldiers, right? Like, you know what they do for a living. I mean, like you're right. So they're like, well, what do we do? Like, so it was interesting to me that on that particular next day, when I opened up my Bible and read it, and there I'm reading this part, I didn't know that was in there. I mean, I'm sure I've seen it before, but it never struck a chord with me at the time. So I just said a whole lot of stuff, you guys, but I guess all of this means that I feel like I'm making a connection when I put my own eyes into the written Bible with my hands, piece of paper, not digital, that I don't necessarily feel when I get it from the digital word, even though I learn a lot from the digital word. And sometimes I feel like, oh, that message right there, that's for me. That I just felt like I've been harping on my husband about we need to read the Bible, but we need to read the Bible. Yes, I know we do all this, but we need to read the Bible for ourselves. Like we need to, and not the digital one. We need to read ours and underline it, because what if the internet goes down and we can't even get to the other one? It's got all our notes, everything highlighted's in there.
You're spiraling.
I am. Okay, I'll stop.
No, you make a really, really good point, right?
Yeah.
It's not the digital, just sit down with the actual word, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
do what you want to do. And, like Jamie's Country Living said, no distractions, turn everything off. That's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's on my list.
She's like, what about if there's no power?
I think I explained that one really well.
You did great. That's why we love you.
I get pretty passionate about stuff sometimes.
You do.
But anyways, so that's there. And then finances, I don't know if you guys have heard of this whole what does she call it? Have you guys heard of velocity finances? I'm not selling anything here, by the way, guys. I'm not that there's anything to purchase, but I mean, I'm not recommending this as being a great thing. Velocity banking, where you get a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit. And the way the interest is figured on a home equity line of credit, you start using that as a checking account instead of letting your money sit in a bank while you pay bills out of it. You let it sit in a HELOC and you pay bills out of there. And you got to go just watch stuff. You could look it up, but it's something I'm investigating this year.
Yeah, caution though.
Caution.
Those are not forgiven if something happens to you.
Yeah.
And some people think it's a good idea to.
Have you heard of it then?
Not of the velocity part, but I can tell you a lot of people have decided to get a home line and pay off like student loans. It's not a good idea, because the student loans will be forgiven if you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I heard about it so I guess you could do that for it. And they did it in chunks, like get a $5,000 line of credit, make a bulk $5,000 payment on something, because that way your future payments are paying off more principal than they would be before. And then anyhow, I don't want to get into it because
that part is very true.
I'm still looking into that, and we'll see what I decide. I'll keep you posted and let you know how it works for me if I do it. But it's going to be on this very small, painless, I always have to think about several steps ahead if something might go bad. So it would be something small that wouldn't jack us up too much if it ended up being a bad idea. Love the land every day. Hello, good to see you.
Hey there.
Oh, that's awesome. I still have the Bible that my grandma gave to me when I was like 7, and I just gave that to my daughter a couple weeks ago. Yes. Oh, that's awesome. Oh. Oh, to remodel.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm thinking to like pay off debt to eliminate, but I'll let you guys know how that goes. Did I cover all? So let's see. Finances, future. Okay, so under future, if you're wondering like where do you put some of this stuff? I don't have everything placed yet because I've got my two separate lists, right? I have faith, family, friends, finance, fitness, fun, future, and then my list of just what do I want to do kind of going on. And then I blend the two and kind of decide where some of my to-dos fall in these things, just as a way to track them going forward.
Hey, Grow Big TV.
Yeah, hey there, Joe. Or is it Corky? Good to see you. But for future, that's where I put like my garden things I want to do, anything with like meat animals. And another thing that I've been wanting to get into, and I'm hoping I can at least kind of start this year, is communications. Like I really want to get a ham radio, and Rich over at the Old Swedes Farm shared some great videos over there of just that, using a ham radio and some of the basics. And we had a friend in Arizona that gave us, matter of fact, it's Jean's husband, that gave us some like CBs, and I need to get that figured out and maybe ask him some questions for us, since I'm the one who has the most interest right now in that. But that's on my list too. So that's the kind of things for future. Just, I don't know. I think of that as like the garden and like feeding us long term. And then for fun, we do want to plan a trip to Arizona. I don't know, like one of those trips might not be real fun, but
yeah.
Also, we want to go. I really want my husband to go to Nashville. I want him to see Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville's cool.
Yeah, I've seen it because I had to go there for work before.
Yep.
And I loved Nashville. I didn't really get to. When I had to go on a business trip, I took my daughter with me, not Katie, but my daughter Erica went with me, and we did get to go out on the town a little bit, and they had a Hard Rock Cafe, and it was a songwriters thing, which is, that's something that I love, is songwriting. So that was fun to go to, but I want him to go and just kind of see it so he can experience. That's my fun thing. That, and just play music and have fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How about for the rest of you guys in the chat? Because we're getting near the end. I want to make sure that we have time for everybody. What are some of your goals this year?
Oh no! Did you see?
Oh yeah.
Good to know. Yikes.
That's why I have like a bad taste in my mouth for them. And it's not it's not the fact that the HELOC is a bad thing. It's the fact that they've been used improperly for many years by people. And sadly, like, there's no easy fix. Like, if you get yourself into debt, you need to get yourself out of it. And it's not really easy. You have to sacrifice. And unfortunately, folks who are in a lot of debt struggle to sacrifice to begin with.
Yeah, true. Buying land. That's awesome.
Hey, Alfonso Cimental.
Hi, Alfonso.
Good for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Joe, you better get fencing. You better get some serious.
Oh, that was so awful. Netting. So much work last year, and to have it all eaten up. Oh.
It's gardening.
It is gardening for you. Yeah, and it's almost that time to get some starts in, to seed start. Almost time for seed starts. If like celery, that has to be 12 weeks before your first frost date.
I got time.
Yeah, you got time.
I usually start in February.
That's almost here.
I know, but think about it. February, then I got to keep them alive.
Oh gosh.
March, April, May. I have to keep them alive for 3 months in the house.
Yes, I know it. Same here.
I mean, starting them is no big deal. It's keeping them well and healthy.
Yeah. Teaching my grandchildren. Oh, that's awesome. I saw this video of this little 1.5-year-old baby who was stretching his little bitty baby fingers out playing chords on the piano. Oh my gosh, it was the craziest thing. My husband actually saw it and shared it with me. It was so cool. Expand the gardens, preserve more food. Yes. Oh, let me go to your first one, Heather. High tunnel, lots of plant starts, make new chickens. Make new chicken. I like the way you worded that. Breed goat, make shorts and stuff, and go live. Very cool.
And Joy said, I want to build a greenhouse when we buy land. That'll be awesome.
That would be awesome, Joy. Banjo guitar. Oh, that's awesome, Alfonso.
Nice.
How about you, Lisa? Any big things you're thinking of this year?
Yeah, I'm last year I was in the process of working on, craft items and crocheted goods and stuff like that for Christmas holiday. And so
Yeah.
and then I got really sick. And just
How are you doing with that? You're
much
getting better,
better.
right?
Yep, much better. Thank you.
Did I miss something? Like, I know that you had the blood clots that got squared away. They didn't come back or anything, right?
Not yet. I'm still on the blood thinners. So I had a deep vein thrombosis under my right knee that went up into my lungs as a pulmonary embolism. And so anyway, everything just got like bleh. So we're decluttering now, and one of the goals is to start selling some stuff that I make and see how that goes.
Oh, so you've got labeling, packaging decisions, which you might have already made some of those, right?
I haven't gotten that far, but like website and everything like that.
Website. Yeah. Yeah, that was helpful what you shared on the live about the websites and Etsy and all of that stuff. That was
That's
interesting.
stuff I've heard, not firsthand, but I mean, I just can't see paying another website to manage my stuff. Like, I'd rather manage it myself. I
Yeah.
mean,
And
maybe
then don't forget, if it's PayPal, PayPal takes a chunk of the money too.
Right, right. I don't I had to do some kind of shots. I thought, Heather, they were the Eliquis that I was getting to begin with because they wanted to build up a level or something like that. I'm sorry, I don't remember it all from the time, but right now I'm just on Eliquis. So, oh, not pathetic suburban hillbilly, not at all.
No, not at all. I think she's saying recover and regroup from the
Yeah,
past.
she's had a rough several years, and there's nothing wrong with that. That you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
If
I
you don't
feel a
take care
little
of
bit of
yourself, you
that.
won't get anything done.
Yeah. And moving is just, exhausting too. And I feel like this year, I feel like we're kind of regrouping and reassessing, like, what we have where. Oh, he's saying
Yeah,
PayPal increase
Alfonso,
their
the problem with that is if somebody is buying from you, they don't get the 30-day protection if they do friends and family.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like if somebody is looking for some kind of protection so that you don't not fall through on the sale and take their money, if you do friends and family, it's gone.
That's good to know,
So a
Joy.
lot of sellers will increase by the percentage of the PayPal.
Yeah. I have a couple of things that I've been wanting to sell, and I'm still at the label part. So I've got to get labels done. And in Canva, I found a little area in Canva that you can do labels. So it's just a matter of me buckling down and doing the label. Because I make that paint oil, but of course I can't call it paint oil.
Right.
I'm going to call it joint loving or something like that. But Canva can do the labels on there, and then that's kind of something I was been wanting to do for a while, but the label, that's the piece that's holding me up, actually getting that done.
Yeah, you gotta show me that.
Mm-hmm.
Joy at Smoky Mountain Blessed. I've seen this, but I don't know anything about it. So you would have to do your own research, but it's called T-Do, and I will type it in.
What is T-Do for?
It's a buy, sell, and discover one of a kind finds.
Oh, that's
I just
cool.
typed in what it is, but I don't know anything about it. I just have to see it on Instagram.
Yeah. The
other thing is other people use other apps besides Etsy, but of course it's the age-old thing, right? You can use Rumble all you want, but everybody's on YouTube.
Yes.
So there's other apps. This is the app someone told me, but I don't know if they've changed since I wrote this down. Let me just look real quick. I am looking.
Whoops. That's awesome, Alfonso. Suburban Hillbilly, nope, it's just Wednesday this week due to my schedule, and I'm glad you brought this up because...
Actually, hold on, because I wanted to talk to you about that.
Oh, okay.
I want to do Tuesdays, but I wanted to talk to you about keeping it on your channel for a bit longer, and there's a reason why.
Okay. All right, so next week it'll be Tuesday. So same time, noon Central Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Time. So next week it'll be Tuesday. It'll be Tuesday moving forward, unless we have to change it for a week. Eventually we're going to start going from my channel to Lisa's kind of back and forth, but for the time being, we'll just keep it on my channel for now.
And I just wanted to tell you it's 11:57. I didn't know if you had that.
Shoot. Okay. Yep. And everybody, we are at the top of the hour. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. And I'm so glad that this was helpful for you, Heather. Everyone, make your lists.
And bring them next week.
You want to live the life you want to live. So make your list so you can do those things that bring you joy too. Some of it will bring you joy, if not relief when it's done.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So next Tuesday on Mountain Grandma's channel, okay?
Yep. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.